All right, today's lesson is going to continue off from our notes from yesterday. So in your notebooks, you should have point of view versus perspective. Point of view being who's telling the story versus perspective, what side of the story are we getting. Point of view recap, you have first person, second person, or third person. First person is the main character telling the story. Third person is an outside narrator, someone who's not in the story, who is giving you the story through one character's thoughts and feelings or multiple characters' thoughts and feelings. Okay, so that's just a recap. We're going to use the three little pigs to help us better understand point of view and perspective. Each of you has a sheet that looks like this. On one side is the three little pigs. Put your name and hour right there. By the end of this reading, you'll be able to tell me who's telling the story. Is it first person, second person, or third person? This is a plot diagram, so on the bottom of the plot diagram we have our exposition, which is how the story begins. We're introduced to the characters and the setting. This particular story starts out with the three little pigs are setting out to see the world, and their mama warns them of the big bad wolf. You'll hear that as the story begins. The next thing going up here is our rising action. So these are all of the events that happen in the story that lead up to the big problem or the climax or turning point of the story. After the climax, you're going to go down to the resolution. This is called the falling action, any event that happens after the climax and leads up to the problem. Okay, so I'm going to stop the recording as we're going, and we're going to fill this in together. So every time I stop it, you write what I tell you to write.
Once upon a time, there were three little pigs. They were brave, they were bold, but they weren't very big. One fine day, the three little pigs set off to see the world. "Always look out for the big bad wolf," said their mother. "He's bad, he's big, and he'd love to eat a tasty little..." She never finished her sentence. The three little pigs hadn't gone far when they met a man carrying a heavy load of straw. "I could build a fine house with that straw," said the first little pig. And he did.
So in your number one spot, which is kind of cut off over here on the edge, you are going to write, "Met a man with straw and built a straw house."
The two little pigs set off, leaving their brother at his house of straw. Before long, a man came by, with sticks on his back piled ever so high. "I could build a very fine house with those sticks," said the second little pig. And she did.
So for the number two spot, right down here, you're going to write, "Met a man with sticks and built a second house of sticks."
The last little pig set off, leaving his sister at the house of sticks. Soon, he met a man carrying a heavy load of bricks. "I could build a very fine house with those bricks," said the third little pig. And he did.
So number three is our third event. Met a man with bricks and built a brick house.
Meanwhile, who was creeping up to the house of straw? It was the big bad wolf. Little pig, let me come in," he growled. "No, not by the hairs on my chinny chin chin. I won't let you in," squeaked the little pig. "Then I'll huff, and I'll puff, and I'll blow your house down," roared the wolf. And he did.
So number four on your list is the wolf creeps up to the straw house and blows it down.
That was the end of the first little pig. Next, the wolf crept up to the house of sticks. Little pig, let me come in," he growled. "No, not by the hairs on my chinny chin chin. I won't let you in," squeaked the second little pig. "Then I'll huff, and I'll puff, and I'll blow your house down," roared the wolf. And he did. That was the end of the second little pig.
So number 5, the wolf goes to the stick house and blows it down.
Next, the wolf crept up to the house of bricks. Little pig, let me come in, he growled. No, not by the hairs on my chinny chin chin, I won't let you in, squeaked the third little pig. So the wolf huffed, and he puffed, and he huffed, and he puffed, but he couldn't blow down the house of bricks. And he's saying, I need a new plan.
So our number 6, our climax, is the wolf fails. He is unable to blow that brick house down. And this is the turning point in the story, because he's like, I need a new plan to get those pigs.
Little pig, called the wolf, be ready at 6 o'clock tomorrow morning, and we'll gather some tasty turnips. And little pig says, I'll be there. The little pig knew that the wolf planned to eat him, so off he set at 5 o'clock. He filled his basket with tasty turnips and hurried home for 6 o'clock. Bother, growled the wolf. Little pig, called the wolf, be ready at 5 o'clock tomorrow morning, and we'll pick some juicy apples. So the little pig set off at 4 o'clock. He filled his basket with juicy apples and hurried home for 5 o'clock. Bother, roared the wolf. Little pig, called the wolf, be ready at 4 o'clock this afternoon, and we'll go to the fair. As soon as the wolf went away, the little pig set off for the fair. He had so much fun. There he is on the slide. Oh, look, way up there is the wolf.
So our number 7 on our plot diagram, which is over here, is the wolf tries to trick the pig with the turnips, the juicy apples, and going to the fair in order to eat him, but the pig outsmarts him and goes before the wolf tells him to.
At 4 o'clock, the wolf arrived. Just then, the little pig rolled back from the fair inside a barrel. He bowled right over the wolf. Quickly, the little pig ran indoors. Now the wolf was really angry. He climbed onto the roof. Little pig, I'm coming to eat you up, he shouted down the chimney. Indoors, the pig put on a pot of water to boil. Suddenly, the wolf fell down the chimney into the pot of boiling water with a crash and a splash. And that was the end of the big bad wolf.
So our number 8 over here is the wolf is really mad at this point because the pig has outsmarted him. He decides he's going to go up on the roof, down through the chimney to get that darn pig. But little does he know, the pig has already boiled a pot of water. So this is the following action. It is leading up to the resolution of the story. The wolf falls in, lands in the pot of boiling water, and he is no longer. So the resolution of the story then is...
And the little pig said, now I can live happily ever after in my fine house of bricks. And he did. And he said, home sweet home.
So our resolution answer to the problem is that the pig gets to live happily ever after because he has gotten rid of that big bad wolf. So what is the story being told in? The story is being narrated by an outside character or force. Yes, we do hear the pigs talking and the wolf is talking in the story, but it is third person point of view. Okay. And it is told from both the perspective of the wolf and the pig because we see both of those characters. So it would be third person omniscient, meaning the narrator gives us insight into more than one character. You're going to do the same thing now with the true story of the Three Little Pigs and the Big Bad Wolf video recording that is posted in Google Classroom. You have a new side here. You are going to start with the exposition, which is the beginning of the story. You're going to work your way up to the climax, the turning point of the story, down the falling action, and the resolution of your story. I've numbered them again, so you're going to stop periodically along the way and fill it in as you go. So you're going to model it the same way I did with this side. What are the big events that lead up to that turning point climax of the story? When you're done, you're going to want to make sure your name is on it, and you're going to put it in the 6th hour or 7th hour drawer so that you get credit for your work. And then you can pull out your own book and start reading. Remember, books need to be finished by November 22nd.